What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you now with an updated Heraldic Beast deck profile. This of course has been rebuilt for the new upcoming format. For those of you guys who have been watching my channel for quite a long time, you'll know that Heraldic Beast is actually one of my more favorite decks to play and duel with. I recently had a tag team duel video series up on my channel with the 7 Keys Challenger, where we were both utilizing this deck. And although we had somewhat different builds, I want to go ahead and showcase mine to you as I've been getting a couple requests to do so. Now I also know that I still do owe you an Ice Barrier deck profile. I have not forgotten about that either. It's just that Ice Barriers are a little bit of a hard deck to kind of come up with a pretty decent build with. So hopefully eventually I will have that profile for you up on my channel as well. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Heraldic Beast profile. Alright, so starting with monsters, we're playing 3 copies of Leo, 3 copies of Aberconway, 2 copies of Eagle, and then 1 Basilisk. That kind of rounds up the Heraldic Beast aspect of the deck. These have been the 10 Heraldic Beast monsters that I've been using in the deck for quite a while now, actually. From there, support cards, we were playing 3 copies of Kagetokage. This card right here really helps out the deck perform a massive amount of rank 4 spam plays. Really good, cool card, definitely an awesome addition to the deck. I'm also playing 1 copy of Summoner Monk. I know I've used multiple copies in the past in different builds, but for now I'm just using 1. It's kind of a little bit of a tech-in card. That way, you know, if you start off with a hand with a lot of spells and you need to kind of get your engine going, you can use Summoner Monk to kind of do so. And then finally, we're playing just 2 copies of Maxx to kind of round up the end of the monsters. Okay. Alright, so for spells, we were playing 3 copies of Heraldry Reborn. This is essentially a monster reborn for any Heraldic Beast monster that's in your graveyard. Plain and simple. It just says target 1 Heraldic Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Just like that. Monster Reborn. 3 of them in your deck. I know a lot of people like to not play with 3 of this card, but I don't really see the reason not to. I mean, it's very good. It's just really a Monster Reborn. If you could play 3 Monster Reborns, why wouldn't you? From there, we're playing 3 Advanced Heraldry Art. Same principle with this. This is kind of a miracle fusion for Heraldic Beast monsters that allow you to go into any rank 4 exceed that you like. So it's kind of cool. So you can basically, if you have 2 Heraldic Beast monsters in your graveyard, you play this 1 card down, special summons them both out, and then they're immediately special summoned into an Exceed monster. So your opponent can't even Bottomless those 2 monsters or something like that, because the card effect is still actually resolving when they're first special summoned. Also, just like Heraldry Reborn, I've seen a lot of people only play 2 copies of this card, but just like in Heroes, I don't know why you wouldn't maximize the amount of Miracle Fusions. I don't really see a point of not maximizing the amount of Advanced Heraldry Arts. I know it can get kind of cloggy if you draw both of these cards too early on before you kind of set up your graveyard, but hopefully with some of the other cards that we're utilizing in the deck and Summoner Monk to kind of resolve some of the massive amount of spells you might draw, I don't see it being too big of an issue. From there, we're playing 2 copies of Forbidden Lance, 2 copies of Soul Charge, 2 copies of MST, 1 Foolish Burial, and then 1 Dark Hole to kind of round up all the spell cards that are in the deck. Alright, so for traps, we are playing 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, 2 copies of Fiendish Chain, Solemn Warning, Black Horn of Heaven, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute, Compulsory, and then 1 WireTap. Kind of a pretty decent, good, eclectic mix of traps that kind of allow us to handle just about every kind of situation. And then, of course, you can dive into your side deck and replace cards as needed for whatever deck you're ultimately up against. Okay. Alright, so for the extra deck, the only 2 of that we're playing is Lightning Chidori. I've thought about kind of bumping this back down to 1, but I really go into Lightning Chidori quite a lot, especially with the Advanced Heraldry Arts. I just think it's like so easy to bring this guy out, and ultimately usually when he's summoned you're going to get a +2 off of him, because when he's first originally XC summoned, you get to get rid of a face down card, and then you get to use his effect to go ahead and get rid of a face up card on your opponent's side of the field, and they just go right back into the deck. And then if he actually lives into a second turn, you get to use the effect again and get rid of another face up card. And then if you have Eagle in the graveyard, you can just keep re-abusing the effect over and over and over again. From there, we have the 2 cards that kind of help us get our engines going, that being King of the Feral Imps and Lavalval Chain. Both these cards work really well for getting Leos into the graveyard, or dumping a Leo under your material with a Kage and grabbing a Kagetokage. Really great, awesome combos that can be used with these cards. From there, we got kind of standard stuff like number 101, Exciton Knight. I like number 103 still. The idea of being able to draw whenever your opponent has a monster whose attack is different than the original attack is always good in my opinion. We also got Abyss Dweller, number 80, Gagaga Cowboy. Musketeer is kind of, the Skyblaster Musketeer is kind of a newer addition from the newest set that just came out. Another really great card, kind of similar to 101's effect. Number 50, Blackship of Corn. Daigusto Emeral is pretty good, allows us to recycle cards as needed. Diamond Direwolf, and then of course number 82, Heartlandraco. And that kind of rounds up the extra deck. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple really quick basic combos in Heraldic Beasts. Really all we need is one Kagetokage and then any Heraldic Beast monster. For these examples though, we're going to go ahead and use Leo because that's kind of the best case scenario, is to have a Leo with a Kagetokage. So if you happen to go first, you can go ahead and summon your Leo. That allows you to special summon your Kagetokage. Go ahead and overlay them. You have two really good options at this point. One, you can go for a King of the Feral Imps. This allows you to go ahead and dump your Leo to the graveyard. This will trigger both Leo and King of the Feral Imps effects, so you're going to get two searches off of it. You're going to be able to bring any Heraldic Beast card other than Leo to your hand, as well as another Kagetokage. So just right away you can see that you've instantly set up for a second Exceeds play on your next turn. For our next scenario, of course, we're going to summon Leo along with the Kagetokage. This time we're going to overlay, and we're going to bring out a Levavel Chain. Then we're going to go ahead, and in this scenario, we're going to detach Kagetokage first to send another Leo from our deck to the graveyard. Leo's effect will then trigger, allowing us to grab any Heraldic Beast monster from our deck and add it to our hand. This works out really good because now we have a Leo in the graveyard, but if for some chance our opponent goes ahead and destroys our Levavel Chain, we're going to get another search because we still have a Leo under Levavel Chain right now. And if Levavel Chain happens to stay alive until the end of the turn, then we can start abusing him pretty well. So on our next turn, we can go ahead and detach Heraldic Beast Leo once again. This time though, we're going to send Eagle to the graveyard. Leo's effect is going to activate since it was detached. We're going to grab another Heraldic Beast monster, add it to our hand. But the really cool scenario now is that we can go ahead and use Eagle's effect, putting two more Leos under our Levavel Chain, setting us up for more abusive plays following turn. Or if they kill Levavel Chain on their turn, we're going to get another search off of one of the Leos that are now a material under Levavel Chain. Alright, so for our next combo scenario, if we actually happen to draw an Advanced Heraldry Art along with one of our Kagetokages and any Heraldic Beast monster, we can continue on with a little bit better of a setup, really. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's say we don't even have Leo first this time. Let's say we have something like Eagle or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Any of the Heraldic Beast monsters will work. We're going to go ahead and normal summon whatever Heraldic Beast monster we have, and then go ahead and special summon out our Kagetokage. Overlay this time for another Levavel Chain. And then going to go ahead and detach whatever Heraldic Beast monster we have and send it to the graveyard. Now, if we have Leo, then that's fine. If not, then we're going to send Leo this time. So that way, either way, we're going to get Leo's effect to activate. And we're going to grab a Heraldic Beast monster and add it to our hand. Next thing we're going to do is play Advanced Heraldry Arts, bringing both of our Heraldic Beast monsters back to the field. Going to go ahead and overlay, this time for a King of the Feral Imps. And we're going to go ahead and detach the non-Leo monster that's under him to the graveyard to add a Kagetokage to our hand. So this works out pretty good because now we've added two cards back to our hand, plus if King of the Feral Imps is destroyed, we will get another search off of Leo. If both of these monsters happen to stay alive until the end of the turn, we're going to do some massive plussing, as then we can send another Eagle to the graveyard this way, and then we can go ahead and send this one, grabbing another Kagetokage and another Heraldic Beast monster and adding them to our hands. Plus we can then start reusing effects by removing our Eagles from the graveyard and adding Heraldic Beast monsters back under as materials to our Xyz monsters. And there you have it, YouTube. This was my updated Heraldic Beast deck profile. Remember to let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. Once again, I encourage anyone interested in building or dueling with Heraldic Beast to go ahead and give it a try. It's a very fun deck to duel with. And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.